On this journey of being a creative, you do need to know your why. Welcome to another episode of Confessions with a Content Creator. Today I'm going to be going over 5 things, not in any particular order, but 5 things that I felt like I wanted to share with you that I actually discovered after interviewing 50 different creatives from around the world. I interviewed writers, I interviewed rappers, singers, filmmakers, actors. I just interviewed as many people as I could, and I extrapolated, or I took out 5 things that I felt like you would want to know if you are a creative or if you're just interested in what creatives do. First on the list of things that I think are important and want to share with you is be yourself. And what do I mean by be yourself? Be authentic. It comes to, or I've learned after talking to several people that being authentic is most important. And it's most important in 2 respects. First, it's important because you are creating something you want to create. And things that you create are most definitely a lot better than you creating for someone else. And I understand that those type of things happen, but when you create for yourself, you have a much better product. You have a much better product. Secondly, when you are authentic, people know, and people fall in love with, or they have a tendency to follow or be attracted to people who are authentic. Number 2 on the list is it's not going to happen overnight. And I know it's cliche, so it's pretty much on its face what it means. After interviewing these very talented creatives, I did find that some of them are still working towards their goal. And if you know anything about being a creative, what that means is you have to spend more time on your craft. You have to know what you enjoy. You have to kind of begin to understand what it is about the process that excites you the most. And those are some of the things, or that's something that comes out of the process of not happening overnight. Most of the people that I've interviewed have put in work, meaning countless hours of getting better at their craft, countless hours of kind of honing who they are and what they're doing. I think one remarkable thing that also came out of understanding that it doesn't happen overnight is that you are creating a very incredible journey from start to finish, or from start to middle, wherever the person was at the time that I interviewed them. They were creating this marvelous journey, and I was very fortunate and lucky to be a part of that. And at this time, I guess, I really understand that this is going to be a journey. Musty Fly is a journey. And the one thing I want you to take away from this is that creatives will not be successful instantly. So if you're thinking about creating, it's going to take a little while. And if you see someone who is successful, please know and understand that their success did not happen overnight, that they put in a lot of work, a lot of consistency, and they took the time to hang in there. Number 3 on the list is learning and growing. What I found just interviewing different creatives is that they're all learning and they're all growing. They're kind of doing those 2 things simultaneously. I think if you don't learn, you can't grow. And when I say learn, I mean learn in a couple of perspectives. The first thing is they're learning about themselves, right? And the more you learn about yourselves, the more you understand yourself, and the more you are able to create art that is more reflective of you. And if you go back to what we talked about earlier, being authentic, it's those 2 things kind of mesh together. The creators that I've interviewed, they don't stay where they are. Like, they don't stay with a base core of knowledge. They learn from themselves. They learn from the challenges that they've kind of had to go through. They also learn from other people. And when you learn, you build a reservoir of things that you can use to move forward. And so what this does is it allows them to get better. And obviously the goal is to create better art. And when you learn, you grow. And you can also use those experiences to make better art. The second thing that they're also learning some type of market strategy. Because at the end of the day, we all want to thrive and be successful from a financial standpoint of the things that we are doing. And so from those two perspectives, people are learning and growing. The creatives that I've interviewed also understand that we are in the current age of technology. So they're also learning how to get their creativity and their art out on the social media platforms and to different spaces that are going to benefit them over time. So that's number 3, learning and growing. Number 4 on the list, you made it this far, is you got to know your why. And when I say you got to know your why, you have to know why you're creating. You have to be honest with yourself. And again, this leads to being authentic, right? And what it also will do is in the times when you don't feel like you want to create, which I guess a preference thing on how you deal with those times when you have creator's block. But if you know your why is going to keep you motivated and keep you creating. Also, too, if you decide that you want to monetize what you're doing, if you want to monetize your creativity, which what I'm doing here at the Musty Fly, I'll be perfectly honest and perfectly open. I do want to monetize what I'm doing. And if you want to monetize that, you are going to go through periods where you don't see the results of your effort. And so what you need to do is you need to be able to reflect on why you are doing this, why you are traveling the road that you are traveling. So that way you're going to be able to get through the down times. You are going to be able to get through the creative blocks. You are going to be able to get over these different challenges. You will then be able to push forward because you're going to be able to use as motivation, you're going to be able to use your why. And that why could be a number of things. I'm not going to get into that because that's your own personal take. That's where you are. That's what's in your heart. That's what's in your mind. Last but not least, number 5 on this list is money is very important. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to list these things in any particular order, but I think out of all 5 things, this is the one that I think is most important to share. What I found over these interviews is that, or what I discovered is that all creatives need money to a certain degree. You don't need money to create, right? But you need money to create full time. Some people I interviewed have achieved that. And in all honesty, that's where I want to be. That's where I want Musty Fly to be. I want to be able to create full time. And I cannot do that without generating enough revenue to support my creative endeavors or to support my creative projects. And that's something that across the board, all creatives are, whether they want to admit that or not, that's where they want to get to. They want to get to a point where they can solely create. They can create or their creations actually pay their bills. They create with a certain sense of freedom. Now, I know fundamentally what we believe is that artists or creatives create irrespective of money, right? Like that's the mantra. Like I create solely to create. And I really understand that. And I'm in love with that. And I'm in love with every person who creates merely to create. And I enjoy that. But at the end of the day, we as creatives need to be able to create fully without having any interruptions. Well, you made it to the end. I'm excited for things to come. I'm also excited that you stuck around. What I need you to do is like, click, subscribe, support me as a creator. If you like my stuff, if you don't like my stuff, tell somebody anyway. It won't hurt you. It won't take you but a second. Make sure you go to the Musty Fly podcast, because what you will be able to do is you'll be able to listen to the struggles, the triumphs, some of the great things that the creatives that I've interviewed were able to share with me. Right now, I think we're beyond 50 episodes. Some of those are individual episodes that I just talked to myself. Some of them are short film reviews or reviews of different things. But for the majority of it, I've actually interviewed creatives. Support me by clicking, subscribing. Yeah. Lastly, don't forget about the Patreon. Patreon. Because as we talked about, money is important. Until next time, keep doing what you're doing and make sure you keep supporting creatives.